What's happening, everybody? Trey here, and today at Reactions to the Classics, we got another top 10 list coming in from one of our patrons. Shout out to Dan for bringing this list today, and it's a list I think that we could all use in the recent times that we're going through. It is now a new year, and hopefully it's going to be a more uplifting year for you and I and everybody else around the world, man. It's top 10 uplifting songs today. And I'm really looking forward to this one. Looking at the list here, there's a couple tracks that I'm already familiar with, and then there's some others from groups I've heard great things about, but haven't actually heard yet. So I'm looking forward to this. Before I dive into the list, though, if you like this video, y'all, you know the drill. Be sure to give a big thumbs up. Hit that big red subscribe button if you like what you see today. And if you'd like to be a patron like Dan and help keep the channel rolling, man, really appreciate all the patrons out there. You can check that out down below and follow us on Facebook, Twitch, all that good stuff. But all that to say, let's just get into this list. Dan had a nice little write-up about what these 10 tracks kind of mean to him. He said, these are songs that uplift me, songs that fill me with passion and appreciation for life. We could all use that, Dan, that's for sure. He said there are a few that are uplifting musically, but certainly not lyrically, but I still wanted them on here. I find those songs quite interesting as they can sometimes transform a glass half empty outlook to glass half full. Well said, Dan. And I do kind of like those tracks as well that, kind of opposite. ABBA has a lot of tunes like that as well, which sound so pretty, but lyrically deep down are a bit more intense, I guess you could say. But all that to say, man, let's get going with the first song on this list. If you're watching on YouTube, due to copyright, the music itself is going to be chopped out of here. But if you want to see the full reaction with the music included, check out the link down in the description. And if you already know these tracks and just want to hear my thoughts on them, you can just keep watching on YouTube, whatever floats your boat here, man. And let's get started. Number 10 on the list, as y'all can see, we're going to be rocking with an actual instrumental. I kind of like that, Dan, a little out there pick starting us out. But we have Is This Music Teenage from Teenage Fanclub and the record Bandwagon-esque from 1991. Dan noted this is an instrumental track. It's an unusual pick as it's the first song on this top 10, but the last song on their highly acclaimed album Bandwagon-esque. And from our research, Bandwagon-esque was voted Album of the Year for 91 by American Music Magazine Spin, really famous here in the States back in the day. I'm not sure if it is currently, but it famously beat Nirvana's, of course, legendary record Nevermind. So I'm sure that was kind of some big news and probably a hot take back in the day here. So never heard any Teenage Fanclub. It's an instrumental, so there won't be any lyrics to pull up. But for the rest of these tracks, I will have the lyrics pulled up and ready. And just going to kind of vibe with the music and give my thoughts afterwards. So thank you again to Dan for bringing this to us. And let's get uplifted here, people. Let's do this. All right. Is This Music Teenage Fanclub-esque? And in my estimation, yes, Teenage Fanclub. That was music, and that was good music right there. Starting us off, a good job by Dan, kind of getting us primed and ready. We can't just jump into something right away. I like that instrumental to kind of get us in the mood, so to speak. Just a melody that was incredibly catchy, and it just lives up to his name, especially in the last minute or so, where we got a little switch around going. From that just basic riff that was in the first 2 minutes of the track, where we really ramped it up, it seemed, and it kind of did give you that feeling that you were about to ascend or something, or at least it did for me. I don't know about y'all, but that seems like a tight way to kind of end a record as well. I never heard of this band or this record, but if it beat out Nevermind, I'm gonna have to go check it out in full. And it kind of had a bit of jangliness to it as well, not in the aspect of like the Smiths per se or something like that, but I was noticing that in the guitar, and I'm always down for a good jangly guitar, ladies and gentlemen. So Dan, a good way starting the list off at number 10 with Is This Music. And now we're gonna go to the Chameleons, Up the Down Escalator at number 9 from their record Script of the Bridge from 1983. Dan noted a good example of what I was saying about uplifting musically, but certainly not lyrically. This was also the lead single from this album. Heard one Chameleons tune on one of the top 10 lists that we did, and I remember enjoying that one, even if the name escapes me at the moment, but which song it was. But let's see what we got here. Got these lyrics pulled up, and let's get to number 9. Again, really enjoyed this one. Kind of had a bit of that more upbeat, post-punky influence type of sound. I don't even know what genre to really pin this one in, but it just had that nice early to mid 80s. I see, it came out in 83, type of alternative rock with that British flair to it. Really enjoyed that. And lyrically, man, yeah, Dan, you were right on the money. Very serious and at times quite somber. But that music, especially whenever we cranked up to the chorus, where there must be something wrong, boys, so kind of sing-songy that you want to, just kind of vibe with it. But, the lyrics themselves are, there is something wrong going out in the world, man. He notes even at the start, all these people staring at him blankly. He notes it's a sign of the times, and, a few years later, Prince would have something to say about that. They tell me tomorrow will never arrive, but I've seen it end a million times. I like that kind of that doom and gloom that so many people have. Oh man, it's the end's near, this or that, or oh, this is just the worst day ever, this or that. And then tomorrow comes, and we keep on keeping on. Our character here, though, notes he lost his direction. He notes he would freeze time if he could. I did like the line, teachers who refuse to be taught, because how many teachers or elders, we'll say, in our lives growing up, that were just seen behind the times. It seemed not. It's one thing to be behind the times, but it's another thing to be willing to be taught and learn from a newer generation. And on our side, as a younger generation, always ready to learn from people that went before us. I think that's when it works best. But for the Chameleons, that wasn't working for their elders here. Talking about they sit at tables and throw us scraps, wanting to just be left something. Now they can erase you at the flick of a switch. Oh, there must be a way. Those people in power always have that hold over you, essentially, man. It's a big hit for me, so shout out to the Chameleons there. And speaking of a powerful song, we're going to number 8 now, I Believe in You by Talk Talk from their record Spirit of Eden. Man, I'm a big Talk Talk fan. This is one of the few songs on this list I'm already familiar with. Spirit of Eden, I know a lot of people think is their best record. Their record after this from '91, Laughing Stock. That's one of my favorite records really ever, man. And Spirit of Eden is just really, really classy as well. Dan noted a sad song. However, I found this song uplifting because it reminds me of my darkest times and my family who have always supported me. That's awesome, Dan. I have a great family that supports me too. I know not everybody does, so for those of us that do, man, we got to appreciate that every day. He noted the title of the song are those important words they need to hear from those who care about them. In our research, the band did not originally plan to release a single. EMI issued a radio edit of it, but it failed to reach the UK singles chart top 75, which is a bit of a shame, man, because this is a great tune. And a little bit more about it. It's about Mark Hollis, who fronted Talk Talk, and his older brother Ed, who was dealing with a lot of heroin addiction through his time. And so Mark kind of wrote this song as an effort to reach out to his brother, to kind of wake him up in a loving way, just saying, hey man, I hope I believe in you that you can beat this. Unfortunately, it doesn't have a happy ending because in September of '88, Ed passed away. The same month, the single and record were released. So I wish I had better news on that front, but it almost has, I think, in my mind, even more power to it. So let's jump into number 8. Woo, I Believe in You, Talk Talk. It had been a minute since I had listened to this song, man, because it's heavy. It is heavy, dude. But I understand why Dan put it on a list like this, because once that chorus hits, it's so simple lyrically. Just spirit, how long, spirit. The way that Mark delivers the lines in the whole song, but specifically that chorus, whenever everything just hits. I don't know if it's like an organ in the background as well. It's almost like some backing, like almost like angelic like vocals come in as well at that point too. Man, it literally it gave me goosebumps, man. It's just one of those moments in a track that no matter how many times you hear it, it still just it stirs the spirit up. No pun intended. And it just from the start. You can tell how personal a tune it is. Here in my spirit, I've seen heroin for myself. And when he said that line, I've seen heroin for myself, it's on. He barely got it out because, I can only imagine how tough it was to deliver that line and just write the song in general and kind of put it out, his personal life out there with that and his brother. Just talking about how it would waste people away. I just can't bring myself to start or to see it starting. Another line I like, is it worth so much when you taste it? Those things with addiction, man, it's tough. You shouldn't be doing this or shouldn't be doing that, and yet it's just like a never-ending cycle, because then whenever you pull away from it, man, life gets tough again. So what do you do when life gets tough? You go back to the substance or whatever the case may be, and it's tough to break out of that, man. You need that family support. You need those people around you, like Mark was to Ed, and it seems like Dan's family is to him, my family is to me, man. Those people to kind of lift you up, bear you up. Man, just a gorgeous tune, and I'm just sad it didn't have a happier ending for Ed, but I hope that this track can kind of give some inspiration to people dealing with their own struggles. Now we're going to go to track number 7 here by The Fall. This is off of their record Extricate. From 1990, Dan noted the song originally began a piss take of the Smiths, and Bill was Mark E. Smith, who is the lead singer and songwriter of The Fall. It was his dad's best friend. The title also tips its hat to the Captain Beefheart's song Bill's Corpse. After the guitarist came up with a nice tune for the song, Mark changed his mind and made the song more personal. Mark said it was about the Manchester scene in the 80s before it got effed up. Quote, I don't go to the Hacienda, which is a nightclub in Manchester, anymore. I used to go once a month, but it's like mainstream now. It's full of A&R men, students, and people from Surrey. This topped John Peel's Festive 50 that year, the only occasion in the DJ's lifetime when his favorite band would do so. So The Fall is a group I've heard of, but don't know if I really know too much of their material. So looking forward to this one. All right, y'all. Bill is Dead. The Fall bringing it. As you see, I already had to heart that one, man. Really enjoyable tune here. Mark Smith definitely, I don't know if it's normal for him, but the easiest comparison would be Lou Reed, of course, vocally on this. And this kind of seems like something that Lou could have wrote as well whenever you break down the lyrics. Melody was fantastic. In addition to that, really enjoyed the simple drumming underneath, but it was powerful. It was punchy. The bass work again was solid, and almost had dueling guitars on each headphone that played off each other very well. And then again, sounded like almost like a church organ going in there as well. And lyrically, I thought again it was pretty tight. Noden, hey, maybe he had crow's feet under his eyes, but he just got paid 2 days for getting high. He's pasted in a bar. He hopes he's got the number. I don't know, number of the girl that maybe he talks to in verse 2. But then that chorus, man, these are the finest times of my life. This is the greatest time of my life. These are the biggest times of my life. Then he notes about this girl. It's seeing her, he's rised, he's renewed, he's aglow. And then we go back into that chorus again. Part of you wants to wonder, is there any irony in this? These are the greatest times of his life, this or that. But then, whenever you dig deep, he's living the rock star lifestyle here, man. He's got the girl, he's playing, he's being able to get paid for getting high, man. I mean, on the surface, that's a decent decent little time in your life right there, I'm sure. And so I like, especially reading at the start, that this was a more personal tune for Mark. Once they kind of got going with it a little bit, I can see how this would have topped the John Peel's Festive 50 list for sure. Just an overall aura of just coolness, if for at the risk of sounding basic over here, man. So enjoyed that one. Now we're gonna go to number 6, "Rise" by Public Image Limited, from 1986. Dan said probably John Lydon's best pop song. It was the lead single, written by Lydon and Bill Laswell, about apartheid in South Africa, specifically about Nelson Mandela. It was one of the group's biggest commercial hits, peaking at 11 on the UK singles chart. The song contains the phrase, quote, "May the road rise with you," which is a direct translation of an old Irish blessing. And then they were quoted that their sound engineer set up Williams at the bottom of the power station's elevator shaft, both close and distant miking the kit, the drum kit, to create the distinctive drum sound. Everything was done on the first take. I'm wanting to say I've heard this song before on one of the live streams we've done, but not like I can, pick a ton of it out. So let's get into number 6 right here. "Rise," Public Image Limited, coming in, man. At the very end there, well, every time he says it, the anger is an energy, that's, I think, the most apparent Sex Pistols influence coming in there, just in Lydon's vocal delivery on that one. But what a great song from start to finish. Great song lyrically, talking about the duality of who really is on the right side in wars and battles, whatever the case may be, it just just that incredibly uplifting with all the voices coming in. "May the road rise with you." Just such a great melody in that chorus right there. And I do kind of like the thought by Lydon here that I could be wrong. We don't hear enough songs from people who recognize that, hey, I could be wrong about some of the things that I'm doing or saying or this or that. I also could be right. Who's to really say at the end of the day? Hopefully, history will look back on me well. That's kind of what I'm getting out here. They put a hot wire to my head because of the things I did and said. They made these feelings go away. Model citizen in every way. And Lydon noted, "I read this manual on South African interrogation techniques, and Rise is quotes from some of the victims. I put them together because I thought it fitted in aptly with my own feelings about daily existence." Yeah, man, that was a pretty powerful line, especially lining up too that we know that this is partially about apartheid as well, and just bringing in some of that just anger and energy from that coming in through this song that was so catchy at the same time, and almost inspiring in a way, where you want to use your anger kind of in a way to enact positive change, and hopefully the road will rise with you in the meantime as well. Great tune here, and that'll be in contention for my favorite tracks. And I'm already going to tell y'all this next song, number 5 here, is guaranteed to be on my favorite tracks, man. This is one of my favorite songs of all time, from one of my favorite records of all time. Kate Bush, "Cloud Busting," from the iconic Hounds of Love record. Oh, gosh, I just love this record, man. So many great tunes, and then the whole second side where it's made up of her, kind of going forth and dying and rising above and all that. If you've never given this record a listen, you need to treat yourself to that. This was written, produced, and performed by Kate. Her second single from this record went to 20 in the UK. Took inspiration from the 1973 Peter Reich memoir. I really hope I'm pronouncing his name right. I've heard the story before, but we'll just go with Reich here. A Book of Dreams, which Bush read and found deeply moving. The song is about the very close relationship between psychiatrist and philosopher Wilhelm Reich and his young son Peter, told from the point of view of the mature Peter. It describes the boy's memories of his life with Reich on their family farm, and where the two spent time, quote, cloud busting, which is a rain-making process which involved using a machine designed and built by Reich, a machine called a cloud buster, to point at the sky. The lyrics further describe the elder Reich's abrupt arrest and imprisonment, the pain of loss that young Peter felt, and the helplessness at being unable to protect his father. This song's special, dude. It's one of my favorite songs of all time. So, Dan, I'm glad you put it on the list. Let's get it. Whew. Cloud busting. We can just shut it down right now, ladies and gentlemen. This will be my favorite track on this list. Now, I know, Dan, you probably got some bangers up ahead, but man, this might be one of my top 10 favorite songs of all time, man. It's just got such a emotional weight to it. It's one of those you just want to like cry to, just because it is so beautiful, man. And just knowing the backstory of it too, kind of gives some context to the lyrics that Kate is talking about. Like, as soon as those strings hit at the start, like, oh, you already know this is just going to be a gorgeous track, and the production throughout the whole song is just so top notch, man. There's times where like the strings are going in, and that drum beat's hidden at the exact same time. They're like synchronized up so well together. Drums are very powerful on this whole tune as well. Kate, of course, just absolutely kills the vocal performance. So awesome. Conveys that emotion so well. She's also on the keyboard on this track, and I think for a lot of tracks on Hounds of Love. Yeah, man, and the wordplay in here is great about the sun coming out, and then your son's coming out. You can get those images in the head where the dad was arrested. I can't hide you from the government. Oh God, Daddy, I won't forget. So then every time it rains, what you're here in my head, man. It all works together so perfectly, man. This is a perfect song in my eyes. And then that bridge hits where like the chant's going in, yeah, yo. And man, it's just like that emotional release of the track, man. I could go on about this song for days, so I'll just wrap it up saying good job by Dan putting it on this list, man. And I hope y'all go and give Hounds of Love a spin if you haven't. Next, we're going to go to a group I've never heard of before. It's their track's Trains to Brazil, and hopefully I do not butcher their names. Apologies, y'all know how I am with pronunciations. The Guillemots, we'll go with that. From their record Through the Window Pane from '06. This is the single. MC Lord Magreo, we'll go with that. The band's guitar player, what a great name, explained that the song title is a reference to the fatal incident involving the Brazilian Jean-Charles de Menezes, who was shot by the police on the London Underground. Wow. And that the band's singer and keyboardist, we'll call him Five Dangerfield, man. Well, great names all around. Composed the song in 2002, originally under the title Life Song. Five said, it was weird. I wrote it in '02 and was sort of thinking about the whole Twin Towers thing, but then a couple months before the London bombings, we decided to drag this song out and do it as a single, and then all that stuff happened. Very odd, but yes, it also is just a song about appreciating life, I guess. So, wow, that's a heavy backstory. Let's see what we got. Wow, Trains to Brazil, another really good tune, man. This list has been incredibly strong so far, Dan. I'm really enjoying it, and this one musically, I think once that horn section hit in the middle, it brought that song up from here up to here, man. And again, fits that uplifting type of theme we got going on musically here, even if we again got a serious subject matter underneath, talking about the prophets and their pawns have had another success. I'm wondering why we bother at all. He starts by noting it's 1 o'clock on a Friday morning. Then he's talking about thinking of you on a cold morning. I'm assuming a love interest, going back to reminiscing about the nostalgia of childhood. And then we get the serious line, and I think about how long it will take them to blow us away. but I won't get me down. So knowing the backstory with the whole, London bombing situation, that gives a little bit of insight in there, even though I know it was initially kind of a thought of in 2002. It fits. And then we have, it's 5 o'clock on a Friday morning, so 4 hours later. 100 telephones sit and ring. One of them's from someone who knew you, and I still think of you on cold winter mornings. So I'm just assuming from this, I could totally be off, that his love interest died, and the 100 telephones sitting and ringing are people just, saying, sorry and this and that. And if he's still thinking of her on cold winter mornings, that makes me think he's not with her anymore. And then later on he says, darling, they'll still remind me of when we were at school, when they could never have persuaded me that lives like yours were in the hands of those erroneous fools. So yeah, man, kind of a sad ending to go on. But as they, even the songwriters themselves noted, a little bit about just appreciating life, as I like. And to those of you who live your lives from one day to the next, will let them take you to next. Can't you live and be thankful you're here? See, it could be you tomorrow, next year. So, man, we got to appreciate the old cliche of you never know what tomorrow brings. I think the whole COVID pandemic that we're in right now has proven that in spades, that we literally never know in this life what's, next week has, or if there will even be a next week for us. That's why you go out there, man, and you gotta just live every day like it's your last, so to speak. I know it's incredibly cliche, and it's tougher to live that out in reality, but really solid tune right there. We're going to go to number 3 now from the group The Sundays with their track Can't Be Sure. This is from Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. Big fan of reading and writing. I wasn't so big about arithmetic. From 1990, their debut record. Dan said, it has to be said that Harriet Wheeler has one of the loveliest voices I've ever heard. This was their debut single, only single from the record. Number 1 in John Peel's Festive 50 for 1989. So we had his number 1 for 89, and then that fall track was number 1 in 90. Song's lyrical theme is, quote, desire, treated as a general concept rather than being directed towards anything or anyone in particular. Can't Be Sure by The Sundays, a group I had never heard of, but I'm glad I have now. Thank you, Dan, for the introduction. Harriet, as you noted, man, what a gorgeous voice. At times reminded me a little bit of one of my favorite female artists going today, not accent-wise, because Lorde is a New Zealander, and Harriet's obviously from England, but just in some of their deliveries and ways they were hitting those high notes. Really liked it, and I like the chorus. England, my country, the home of the free, such miserable weather, but England's as happy as England can be. Why cry? And she really hit a great note on that. And then we kind of get into the desire section, and the whole time that guitar melody was just so gorgeous. This song was just pretty. It was just pretty on the ears from start to finish. Those drums kicked in the last 45 seconds to give it a little punch, and to kind of hammer home Harriet's point that it's my life, and though I can't be sure what I want anymore, it will come to me later. You don't have to have everything figured out. At this point in your life, whether you're 25 like me, or 15 or 55, man, it's never too late to go out and enjoy whatever you want with your life, man. We only get one of them. So shout out to The Sundays, and Can't Be Sure on that. That'll be added to my like songs as well. And now we're going to go to track number 2 on this list, Life of Riley from the Lightning Seeds. A lot of cool band names we got on this list. This is from their record Since in 92. Dan said it was a hard choice between this and their song Pure, which is another great song. This is a minor hit. It was released in March of 92, went to 28 in the UK. However, it later gained popularity when the BBC football program Match of the Day began to use it frequently for segments, including Goal of the Month, throughout most of the 90s. The writer of the song, Ian Brody, cites his son Riley as the namesake for the piece. The song also appears to have influenced the Springsteen single We Take Care of Our Own, released in January of 2012. So only 2 songs left, y'all. Let's get the Lightning Seeds going. Life of Riley by the Lightning Seeds, bringing it, man, with this might have been the most upbeat an uplifting tune we've had on the list actually so far, man. This is, maybe the first song on this list where I had to stop myself from just getting up and dancing, man. This is a really busy track instrumentally, a lot going on, kind of in the background, very loud, which I kind of appreciated, man, because the music itself, it was just kind of bringing you out of a bad day type of thing. Ian's vocal delivery, kind of has a higher register, which again I thought fit with just the upbeat nature of the song, kind of harkening back to the Sundays tune about so here's your life, we'll find our way, we're sailing blind, but it's certain nothing's certain. I do like that concept, man. One thing about life, it's certain that nothing is certain. And then you get the really catchy chorus, I don't mind, I get the feeling, you'll be fine, I still believe that in this world we've got to find the time for the life of Riley. And then I like that they switch it up for the first time later on in the choruses. Musically, man, yeah, just really just upbeat and again quite melodic at points. Don't think this will make my favorites, but again, it's going to be another one that I'm going to add to my like songs. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we're here, number one on Dan's list of uplifting tunes. We got a group that recently did a top 10 to this group. We got the Waterboys and their track "This Is the Sea." Looking forward to this one. My dad actually did a song reaction for another patron to this song, but he did it solo, so I haven't heard this tune yet. But from the record of the same name, This Is the Sea from 1985. Dan noted, definitely an underrated band. This Is the Sea makes me feel like my possibilities are endless. Mike Scott, who is the mainstay of the Waterboys, notes that he wrote over 20 verses for the tune, hardly ever played it live because he found it difficult to replace the ocean effects in such a setting, also finding that he finds the melody, quote, very limiting, going on to say that my abilities with melodies have improved a lot, have developed since those days, and that song doesn't really make it for me. The subject of the lyrics is conflicted about their present and nostalgic for a past clarity. The speaker argues that the past is irrelevant at the end of the day. So let's enjoy this one, number one, and then afterwards, y'all, I'll give my 3 favorite tracks. This Is the Sea coming in at number 1. Wow. And of the tracks that I didn't know going into this, I think this is my favorite. So Dan, you saved the best for last here, dude. This I think just fits the definition of the theme of this list so perfect, man. Just that simple phrase, that was the river, this is the sea. So powerful, man. And I thought Mike's vocal delivery throughout the whole track was just fantastic, especially just at the very end in the outro where he gets really loud, almost screams it out like a declaration, like that was the river, this is the sea. Now, as Dan noted at the start, my possibilities are endless as I kind of trek on through my life. And as somebody who is a counselor, man, I like that concept of leaving that past behind, learning from it. It's always good to learn from our past, but you can't dwell on it because no matter how much we want to maybe try or go and relive it, we can't go back to our past. We have to leave that river behind, so to speak, and live in the sea that we are in right now. Because because that can just influence your present and keep you from living life right now. I like how he kind of notes in that present. You say you've got nothing left to believe in, nothing to hold on to, nothing to trust, nothing but change. You've been scouring your conscience, raking through your memories, but that was the river, this is the sea. Yeah, and he just kind of keeps on going with that. Even though the melody was a bit more simple than some of the other tunes we've had on here, I thought it was still a solid tune there. And whenever you mix that with the lyrical content and with Mike's passion, man, you get a great tune coming in here. And speaking of great tunes, that'll now take me to my favorite tracks. I'm going to throw out Cloud Busting and I Believe in You just because I already know and love those tunes. So of the 8 here, my 3 favorites that were left is of course going to be This Is the Sea. I'm going to have to go with Bill is Dead by The Fall. I just really enjoyed Mike Smith's vocal delivery on that. That was one that really kind of snuck up on me. And gosh, I gotta be basic and say Rise by Public Image Limited, with a very honorable mention to Can't Be Sure by The Sundays, because I thought just that vocal delivery by Harriet there was fantastic, and the way that it advanced musically through its short 3-minute runtime was a pretty darn impressive, man. So, wow, what a list. I hope y'all were uplifted today, and if you weren't, blame Dan, don't blame me. But I think Dan did a really great job putting this list together. My first top 10 that I've recorded here in the new year, and we're off to a strong start, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope your year is great, and I hope that maybe you can add some of these tunes to your playlist, and whenever you are feeling a bit down, maybe throw some of these on. And that's another reason I like this list. Not every song was just coming from the perspective of, oh, my life's already great. Nah, man, when it recognized kind of the down and outs that we all go through in life, and still kind of persevering and trekking on through it. So I want to thank Dan again, and let us know what you think of his list. Let us know some more uplifting songs down in the comments below, y'all. I'm sure we all are looking for some more to add to our playlist here. And until next time, thanks for watching, happy listening, and I will see you.